Man, Native Indian woman, I'm going to show you something today I guarantee you never learned in church. I'm going to show you something today I guarantee you no black leader has ever showed you. I'm going to show you the proof about black on black crime in the Bible. And I dare you to check it out. I dare you to check it out today. Today is the day that we answer Mayor Adams' call. Mayor Adams said, I need a solution to all the black on black crime in New York City. We came to Times Square today to give the mayor the proper solution to the problem that he has, man. Because just like our ancient forefathers, when they had a problem in the city, you know who they called to get an answer? They called the prophets of God. That's right. You know who the Israelite school of UPK is? We are the prophets of God to give you the answer to the problems that you've been dealing with for 400 years in America, man. You wonder why black people killing one another, robbing, stealing, the city going into hell. You wonder why crime rates are going up. You wonder why there's so many issues breaking forth in the city. You know why? Because your religious black leaders have not opened up the Bible and read the truth. And have not read the truth about what's really going on with our people and what's really going on in this city. But I'm going to reveal it for you today. I'm going to show you something today you ain't never seen before. I'm going to show you a little of the history of this city and, more importantly, why you have so much crime in this city, man. Why you got so much violence in this city. Why is this filthy city falling apart before your eyes? And we're going to see if you're going to deal with the solution or not, man. God, give me David, man. Tell him where you at. Now, everybody that reads the Bible knows that King David was the most powerful king in the world. King David was the true bloodline of Jesus Christ. David was Christ's forefather. King David ruled the nation of Israel, and he was the royal bloodline of the children of Israel. Nobody can deny that. Whether you're a Jew, a Muslim, a Christian, whatever you believe in, you open the Bible, nobody can deny that fact. David was an amazing, mighty man for the children of Israel. And you white Jews, you know what I'm talking about. You've been reading our scrolls for years. You know what I'm saying is the truth. Let's read about David, and let's let David show us why we got so much crime in New York City. Why there's so much suffering of blacks and Latinos in New York City. Do you really want to know the answer? Let's go get in it now. Tell them where you at, Huh?
1 Samuel chapter 25 verse 2. And there was a man in Mon whose possessions were in Carmel, and the man was very great, and he had 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats.
Let me tell you something. This man that David encountered, this man was rich, just like New York City is. You see how you look around New York City? You know how much it costs just to change the light bulbs in some of these big billboards? Thousands of dollars, man. For them to bring a truck here and raise a ladder and change them lights so that every light in the city works down here, it costs them hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know why they pay it? Because New York City is rich. Even though you're poor, even though you're suffering, New York City is one of the richest cities in the world. So now, if that's not, now, wait a minute. If New York City's so rich, why are the people so poor and so suffering? Let me explain to you why. David encountered a rich man the same way you've encountered this rich city, New York. And here's what he experienced. Because you're experiencing the same thing. And you've fallen for the same trap. Let's read.
And he was shearing his sheep in Carmel. Now the name of the man was Nabal, and the name of his wife Abigail. And she was a woman of good understanding.
She was a woman of good understanding. He was not a woman of good understanding. He was not a man of good understanding. But she was a woman of good understanding. This was not a stupid woman. This was a smart woman. Let's read some more.
And of beautiful countenance, but the man was a churlish and evil in his doing.
You hear that? God said through David that this man was an evil man. This city right here that you living in New York, that you think is so wonderful, that you believe God is in the great Broadway, the great wonderful city, I'm going to break your heart today. This is a very, very evil city, man. This city is run by evil, wicked men. And those evil, wicked men do very evil things to the people in this city. That's why the homeless rate is running out amok. I'm going to read it for you out the Bible. See, here's what you brothers don't understand. You blacks and Latino brothers, you don't understand that the Bible is a black book. That these is niggas you reading about in the Bible. That's right. You've been thinking all this time you reading about white people. These is Puerto Ricans in the Bible. Did you wait a minute? Hold it now. I'm in New York City, where all knowledge is at. How many of you Latinos knew that Puerto Ricans are in the Bible? That they in the history of the Bible? How many of you knew that Joseph, you remember the story of Joseph in Egypt? How many of you know that Joseph was a Puerto Rican? You don't even know your own history, Latinos, Boricua, Taino. You don't even know your own brother here, no? There you go. There's one brother that know. Give it up for this brother right here.
That's right.
He knows. You don't even know that Puerto Ricans are in the Bible. That one of the greatest Puerto Ricans that ever lived explored this land 4,000 years ago. His name was Joseph, man. Okay? Y'all was sop in the Hebrew, correct? Read.
And he was of the house of Caleb. And David heard in the wilderness that Nabal did shear his sheep. And David sent out 10 young men. And David said unto the young men, get you up to Carmel, and go to Nabal, and greet him in my name. And thus shall ye say to him that liveth in prosperity, peace be both to thee, and peace be to thine house.
You hear what David said? David said, look, David was in the mountains, running from Saul, an evil king. And Saul was trying to kill David. And David and his men was in this mountain trying to survive, trying to feed themselves like you do every day. You get up every morning and go to these jobs trying to survive, trying to pay your bill, trying to be right with your woman, trying to be a civil citizen, man. That's what David was trying to do. But evil men ruled the damn city, man. And those evil men turned around and did evil to the people in them cities, man. And they did this to David as well. But David did what a lot of you brothers do. And I'm going to show it to you now. Come on.
And peace be unto all that thou hast. And now I have heard that thou hast shearers. Now thy shepherds which were with us, we hurt them not, neither were we aught missing unto them.
You hear what David told this rich man? David said, yo, I'm greeting you because I want you to know I'm in need right now. But I took care of your sheep. I watched over your property. I took care of you. That's what you did in this city, man. Black people and Latino people, you worked the menial jobs in this city. You drove the buses. You cleaned the streets. You sold the vegetables. You did all the things that they asked you to do in these streets, and they turned their back on you in New York City, man. I'm going to hit you with something. Certain parts of this city, and I'm going to read it today in the history record. Certain parts of this city was founded by black people, man. Certain parts of this city was established by black people. And we got the history records, and of course, all those records have been hid from you. You know why? So they can treat you like a slave. So they can treat you like you don't deserve nothing. Every time you get some help, they say you getting a handout. While they give billions of dollars to Ukraine. Right, Ukraine, ain't nobody saying Ukraine getting a handout. Ain't nobody saying Ukraine getting a welfare check. They giving billions to Ukraine like it's so important to make sure that Russia doesn't overthrow Ukraine. But you Oh, God forbid you get anything. God forbid you get anything. They make you feel guilty as though you're a beggar, as though you're getting a handout. Well, they tried to do this to David. They tried to do this to the king of Israel, recorded in the Bible. And I'm going to show you how the king of Israel handled wicked niggas like this, those that run this city. I'm going to show you how he handled it. Go ahead.
Oh, while they were in Carmel.
He said, I protected you. Black men became police officers, firefighters, EMTs. Let me tell you something. I remember when they merged the ambulance with the fire department. It was one time they was not together. When they merged them together, the fire department was all white, and the EMTs was all Latino. And when they merged them together, the white firefighters got mad as hell because they said, we don't want no Puerto Ricans in our firehouse. We don't want no Latinos in our firehouse. They treated men, they treated them right like garbage in this city, man. But David showed us how to handle that. And what would happen if you didn't handle it. Go ahead.
Ask thy young men, and they will shew thee. Wherefore, let the young men find favor in thine eyes. For we come in a good day. Give, I pray thee, whatsoever cometh to thine hand unto thy servants and unto thy son David.
And this is what David said. David said, look, we took care of your city. We made sure it was beautiful. We stayed on top of it. We made you rich. We protected your cattle. Do us right, man. Whatever you see fit that we should receive, give it to us so we can feed ourselves. That's all black people asking. That's all Latino people asking. Give us our fair share of what it is that we earned in this place, man. That's what David and them did. It's in the Bible. I'm not reading out no special Bible. I'm reading out a Bible you can get in any Bible bookstore. I didn't change the words. I didn't change the scriptures. Nothing. Let's hear how this wicked man handled this with David. Come on, now.
And when David's young men came, they spake to Nabal according to all those words in the name of David and ceased. And Nabal answered David's servants and said, who is David? And who is the son of Jesse? There be many servants nowadays that break away every man from his master.
You hear what he said to David? You hear what he said to David? In essence, what he said to David is what he said to you blacks and Latinos. He said, y'all ain't nothing, man. Who the hell are you niggas that you deserve anything? Who the hell are you Latinos that you deserve anything? You don't deserve nothing, man. You don't follow the rules. You don't follow the law. You don't keep up the law. That's what they said when it came to blacks and Latinos. The minute they went to Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort, what the hell did Donald Trump and the rest of them white men say? Oh, it's wrong. They raided our house. It was not right. When we were saying F the police, you said we are criminals. When we marched in these streets for murdering black men, you said we was criminals. The minute the FBI raided Donald Trump's house, now they calling the FBI criminals. I guess they understand what a nigga feel now. I guess Donald Trump understand what a nigga feel every day when he living in this city. You understand? I guess Donald Trump and them understand what the family of Breonna Taylor feel right now when they shot through her goddamn window and murdered her in her bed. I guess they understand what it means now. You white people have been unjust, man. And you better rethink what you're doing, because the Lord will punish you in a horrible way. The coronavirus, the monkeypox, AIDS, you only in the beginning of the plagues of Egypt, man. And it's going to be a horrible day if you don't get it right. Let me read this on. So this man was evil to David, the way New York City is evil to blacks and Latinos. And that's why Mayor Adams said, listen, man, I need a solution. I need a solution to black-on-black crime. We're going to bring it to the Bible. You didn't know black-on-black crime could be easily resolved if you opened up the Bible. If you opened up the Bible and were taught by the prophets of God, you would understand how to fix everything in this city. Give me some more on that story real quick.
My bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shears and given unto men whom I know not whence they be.
You hear how this man spoke? He spoke to him like this city does. Why do we as Republicans have to pay more taxes to feed you poor niggas? Why do we have to share our wealth with you? Because we built you cities to make you great, you selfish pig, man. Because we served you for 400 years to make you an empire you otherwise would never have had. That's why. And all we ask is our fair share. And you wicked, wicked bastards who own these great buildings, who own these great businesses, who own these great theaters, who have gotten rich off of the backs of blacks and Latinos. You sit there and act like, what is you niggas' problem? Get a job, nigga. Get a job. Get a job. Here's what David said. Come on now.
So David's young men turned their way and went again and came and told him all those sayings.
They went and told David. David was a righteous man. David was the man that God chose to bring forth the seed of Jesus Christ. David was the royal bloodline of Jesus Christ. Now I want to show, and wait a minute, get me right on this, Tatazar. Did not God say that David was a man after his own heart?
God will come.
David was a man with a heart just like the Lord. And here's what God, and here's the spirit that David was in. Listen to me good.
And David said unto his men, gird ye on every man.
Do what?
Gird ye on every man.
You know what it means to gird? That means to put on a leather belt. Strap something on you. Go ahead.
Gird ye on every man his sword. And they girded on every man his sword.
David told his men, go put your weapons on. Go get your weapons, man. We gonna go kill somebody. You wonder why you got black on black crime in the city? Why you being robbed at the ATM machine? You being carjacked in the street? Because you keep denying God's people their fair share of what they should have. That's why. That's why you're scared to walk down in this city at night. That's why you're scared to move about in this city at night. Because you've been cruel. You've been evil to God's chosen people, man. And like any man, without having the knowledge of the Lord, the natural instinct of a man when you rob him is to take revenge on you and rob you back. That's his natural instinct. Lucky for you white people, Christ came to give our brothers a better way than to rob and kill you. Because if you leave this city to go the way it's going to turn into a bloodbath because of all the evil that has broken forth in this place, man. Even the daggone cops is halfway scared to death to come to work every day because this place is a mess, man. You understand? Which is why Christ is raising up a righteous army. A righteous army of men that walked like David walked. That did what David did. That followed Christ to do the right thing and to build the Lord's kingdom, man. Come on.
And David also girded on his sword.
And David put his sword on too. You don't want to be kind to us? You don't want to be fair with blacks and Latinos? You want to rob them, gentrify their neighborhoods, push them out, redline them in the banks, steal their property with different inspectors and tax charges? You want to do them dirty like that? Fire them first? Play games with their heart and mind? Teach them lies about your religion, that Jesus Christ was a white man. When the hell a white man come out of the Middle East? That's what the hell I'd like to know. How in the hell Jesus Christ gonna be a white man when ain't no white man never come out the Middle East? You're a dirty, stinking liar, man. And why would you be so cruel to God's people? Why would you be so cruel to poor people? People suffering, people trying to pay their rent, trying to live, decently, and you lie to them and tell them Jesus is white. Keep believing on me, and one day you're gonna go to heaven. And meanwhile, they die in their poverty, man. Where's your sense of consciousness? Where's the sense of consciousness in this city? You don't have a conscience. And that's why the judgment that comes down on you, God won't have a conscience on you either. You think you're Billy Badass, but coronavirus kicked your ass in 2020. You understand? And monkeypox, he's at the gate. Monkeypox at the gate like a bull saying, open the gate, let me go. Let me go. Monkeypox wait. He chilling, he like, yo, crack the gate. You ever watch the bullfight where the cat on the bull and the bull, he can't wait till you crack that gate? That's monkeypox. That's monkeypox, brother. And listen, and don't count AIDS out. AIDS in the back riding this horse like, I'm still in the game. I'm still in the game. Don't leave me out. I'm still in the game. The Lord plaguing this world. The whole world he plaguing. Why? Because you're going to do God's will. You're going to obey this Bible. You're going to treat God's people right. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians are the 12 lost tribes of the children of Israel. They are God's chosen people, and you cannot deny it anymore. The proof is coming out. Come on, Doc. Tell them what he said.
And there went up after David about 400 men, and 200 abode by the stuff. But one of the young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, saying, Behold, David sent messengers out of the wilderness to salute our master.
She went and one of her men said, listen, man, you better listen good. He told his wife, David and them mad. They coming out the mountains to go kill your husband because they took care of your husband. They built his city up. They made him great, and he turned his back on them. And you better get your act together because he getting ready to come down here and he gonna kill everybody. He went and told Abigail that. And Abigail ran to David and said, I know my husband wicked as hell, but I'm gonna deal with you justly, man. I'm gonna deal with you right and justly. And she took care of David and the men. This city is full of crime because you're robbing God's people. This city's full of hell because you're robbing God's people. And let me explain something to you. When you oppress a people and you squeeze them every year, you make them brothers turn into criminals, man. You force a man to be a criminal. Black men don't want to be criminals, man. Latino men don't want to be criminals. You think black men like standing on the corner all night selling drugs to make money? They hate it. You think they like going to jail, doing time, then getting released, then coming back out? You think they get a kick out of all that? They hate it. Why do they do it? Because you're starving them to death. You're being unjust and unfair with them. Let me show you a man in the Bible that turned to crime. I'm going to show you a man of God that turned to crime because of the oppression he was under. And then God came for him. And that's what's going to happen with these brothers in the hood. You see these black people you don't respect. You see these black people on the train and they in the homeless shelter and they struggling every day. What you don't know is that these are prophets of God. You don't know that God is going to wake them up and bring them out of the dirt. And they're going to rise up on their feet and be absolutely amazing before your eyes. You looking at give me some of them names they got. What's that old white devil that closed his church in Houston? Joel Osteen. You think those are prophets of God? That low-life piece of dog meat shut his church down in Houston during the flood. That is not a man of God, man. That is a man of Satan. You think T.D. Jakes and those cats are men of God. Those are not men of God, man. Those are poverty pimps who have gotten rich off of the hope that you have in your heart that God will give you a better day, man. And they evil and wicked as they could be. Come on, warrior. Tell them where you at. Yeah, Gideon. The what?
Judges chapter 6 verse 11. And there came an angel of the Lord and sat under an oak which was in Ophrah.
And this is an angel came. I want you to feel something here. This is an angel of God that came to a black man that was a criminal, man. There was a criminal according to the law of the land. Not according to God, but according to the law of the land, this man was a criminal. But according to God, this man was a righteous man. Sometimes you force black men to become criminals to survive. But they not criminals in their heart. They righteous men in their heart. And they know what you're doing to them is not right. And they ain't punks. They'll stand up against you, man. Read it. I'm going to show it to you in God's word. Because you're going to think I'm talking. I'm going to show it to you in the Bible. And if you got a Bible, whip it out. I would love to read it in your Bible. Go ahead.
there pertained unto Jos the Abiezrite, and his son Gideon threshed wheat by the winepress to hide it from the Midianites.
Did you hear that? The Midianites ruled over our people during this time. And this man's son, his young son, was a criminal. He threshed wheat behind a wine press, meaning he grew wheat in secret. Why? Because growing wheat was illegal. You know why? Because the Midianites were trying to starve that man. They were trying to starve the whole nation of Israel so they could control those people. So what did this brother do? He went behind the wine press and he started growing wheat to feed his family. And then you wonder why black men selling weed in this city. Why they selling crack in this city? Because you're a monster and you will not share the wealth of this empire. As hard as they work, I'm not condoning selling dope. I'm giving you a solution how not to never sell dope. Don't get it twisted. I'm going to show you how you ain't never got to be no criminal again. And how you going to deal with this beast, man, and prosper greatly in it. Because this man have taught you to be a criminal, which is what you will do. If you got any intelligence and you see the man cutting you off, and you're starving, and you're watching your babies hungry, and you can't pay your rent, and your woman is arguing with you because you don't pay the bills, and you can't get a job because you got a felony, you're going to go get a gun. That's what you're going to do. And the first ATM machine going to know what it feel like to have a 45 in his goddamn ear. And you're going to take everything he got, and you're going to feed your family. Because that's the pain and the suffering that you are in. That's what this man Gideon did. This man is famous in the Bible. This is a famous warrior of God in the Bible. And this man, an angel came to him. And he was a criminal. He was a righteous criminal. Go ahead, Doc.
And the angel of the Lord appeared unto him and said unto him, the Lord is with thee.
You hear that? This is a man that illegally grew wheat behind the wine press. And what did the angel of God say to him? God is with you, man. God is with you. And God gonna work with you. And I say to every one of my black, Latino, and Native Indian brothers in this city, man, God is with you, man. The Lord is on your side, brothers. The Lord is on your side, sisters. Even though it don't look like it in front of you. While Gideon hid and he didn't think God was with him. But the Lord was down with him, man. Go ahead, Doc.
Thou mighty man of valor.
And listen, and he was a mighty man of valor like a lot of you brothers are. A lot of you brothers locked up in the penitentiary, you mighty men of valor, you just don't know it. You mighty men with great honor, you just don't know it. You caught up into the game that this beast have put out there against you, man. And you've been caught up in it, and it done brainwashed you, and they have destroyed you in it. That's why, through the grace and mercy of God, I raised up the Israelite school of UPK, man. You understand? To give a haven to black and Latino and Native Indian men, so you would not have to be a criminal, man. So you would not have to turn to these streets, but that you would build and become great and do something amazing for you and your people, man, against what they trying to do to you. Go ahead, Op.
And Gideon said unto him, O my Lord, if the Lord be with us, why then is all this befallen us?
You hear what Gideon said? And Gideon was a righteous man. He said, if the Lord be with us. He didn't say if the Lord be with me. He said if the Lord be with us. If we God's chosen, why all this is happening to us? Why are we in this hell we in right now? Black man, Latino man, Native Indian man, I'm here to tell you, man, that day is coming to an end now. You at the end now. Now's the time to wake up out the darkness and come back to the Most High in Christ and bring you up out of this evil place, man. Give me some more, Art.
And where be all his miracles which our fathers told of us, saying, did not the Lord bring us up from Egypt?
You hear what he said? Where's all the great miracles we heard about? Where are all these things at? You don't ask them questions anymore. You know why? Because you don't believe in the Bible no more. You know why? Because you've been taught the Bible is a white man's book. You think it's white people you read about. You think Moses was white. Moses was a nigger, man. You think Jesus was white. Jesus was a nigger. You hear me? You think Joseph was white. Joseph was a Puerto Rican man. These brothers were brothers of God. They were not white. The white man ruling, so of course he gonna make everything great him. He gonna make everything white that he think is great, when he's nothing but a caveman and a murderer, man, that have conquered you because of the laws, statutes, and commandments that you broke. Go ahead, Doc.
But now the Lord hath forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites.
That's what's happening to you today. You're in the hands of the white man. You're in his hands. You're in his hands, meaning this. He tells you you're free, but he starves you and your people so you can't come together and fix your situation. He robs you of your land, robs you of your real estate, robs you of your businesses, pushes you out your neighborhoods. He does these things so that you never rise as a people, man. But you're going to rise as a people, because God going to keep plaguing this city. God going to give this city all kinds of plagues. And you're going to see tons and tons of white people die. And you're going to see them cry bitterly for what they have done to the Lord's chosen people for 400 years in this city, man. You're going to see these prophecies come to pass. Am I getting more? Go ahead.
And the Lord looked upon him and said, Go in this thy might, and thou shalt save Israel.
You hear what this angel told him? Go in this thy might, and you're going to save Israel, man. You black people and Latino people and Native Indian, find out who you was before you came in America in slave ships. You're going to find out that you are God's chosen people. And in that might, you're going to deliver blacks and Latinos, man, from the hell that they in. You're going to do what we do all over the world, man. Right now in New York City has been going on in New York City for 300 years. This is not new. I'm going to show it to you in their own historical records. Everybody hates you, black man. Everybody hates you. The Chinese hate you. The Japanese hate you. The Arabs hate you. The East Indians hate you. They all act like, oh, we all friends and we all love one another. That's a damn lie. Every last one of these stinking heathens you see out here, they all hate you, man. And you know the white man hates you. They hate your stinking guts. But they pretend to be loving and kind because there's so much money to be made off of you in your ignorance. There's so much money to cash in on you. You like a goddamn cash cow. They can rob you, raise your rent, do all kind of evil to you. So that's why they love to have you around to rob and steal from. Go ahead, Doc. Tell them where you at. First of all, tell them the book, Q.
Slavery in New York, published in conjunction with the New York Historical Society.
Now listen, there ain't too many more greater authorities on the history of New York than the New York Historical Society. That's who published this book. We're going to go in this book and we're going to read about some of your history in New York City back in the 1700s. Let's read some of what you suffered in this place. Go.
Pedro's walk was an ordinary one, the kind of walk he took every day.
Now this is a black man, a Latino brother. This Latino brother would take a walk every day back in the 1730s. And let's see what Pedro suffered. And let's see if what Pedro suffered is what we suffering right here today. Read.
Yet, as ordinarily as the walk was, it violated several laws.
It violated several laws.
Including a 1730 act stipulating that it should not hereafter be lawful for above 3 slaves to meet together at any other time.
They said 3 slaves couldn't meet at any time. Now listen, y'all, I'm from New York City. I've been gone for a while, but I'm back right now. So you're not gonna lie to me today. If you think you're gonna lie, you're not. Because I'm from New York. I grew up in the Bronx. Castle Hill, never ran, never will. That's where I'm from. Okay? So let's break this down. Y'all tell me, when there's more than 3 brothers on the corner, do the cops roll up? Hell yeah, they do. Do they want to check everybody, throw everybody on the wall, search everybody? Yes, they do. That started way back 300 years ago, man. They still doing that bullshit today. They still treating God's chosen people like that. 300 years later, man. 300 years later. Come on now. I'm sorry, 500 years later. Damn. Go ahead.
It shall not hereafter be lawful for above 3 slaves to meet together at any time, nor at any other place, that when it shall happen, they meet in some servile employment for their master or mistress's profit.
Right. If you got 10 Mexicans in a bus going to the farm to work, that's okay. Ain't nobody mad at you. But if you get 10 Mexicans hanging out with a drop top in a couple of 64 Chevy Impalas, you getting pulled over. Am I lying? You getting pulled the hell over. They still doing this to us. Ain't nothing changed. 300 goddamn years later, we acting like this new. We gotta have a discussion on how the cops treating us. The cops treating us the way they've been treating us since the 1700s. They taught to treat you that way. Come on, Q, give me some more.
By their master or mistress's consent, upon penalty of being whipped upon the naked back.
If you broke that law, if you had 4 Mexican brothers together, do you know that them cops back then would strap them 4 brothers up and whip them on their naked back with a whip just for having 4 brothers together in one place? That's called oppression, man. And that's what's done here in New York City and has been done for many years in this city. That's what we've been suffering in this place. We got nothing but scholars back here. You think we just a bunch of ghetto bangers. But we ain't just ghetto bangers. We got some ghetto bangers now. Ex-ghetto bangers. But we got scholars back here that will pull your history and show you the proof on how wicked and evil this kingdom has been to God's chosen people. And first of all, blacks and Latinos and Native Indians, you better get this through your mind. You God's chosen people. I don't give a damn what you got to say. If you Taino or Boricua, or if you're a black man that come from the slave trade, you are the chosen people of God. You written of in the Bible. I dare you to prove me wrong. Go ahead, Art.
No Negro, mulatto, or Indian slaves about the number of 3 do assemble or meet together on the Lord's day called Sunday.
You can't meet on Sunday. No niggas can meet on Sunday, no Latinos. None of you can come together and meet on Sunday. Go ahead.
And sport play or make any noise or disturbance.
Wait, you couldn't make no noise on Sunday or disturbance. Where we saw that at? We saw that when you had the boom box. Right or wrong. You go out in the park. Most of these parks now, they done ban music in the park. How the hell you gonna ban music in the park when black people been trying to play music for 100 years in the park? Now they done ban the music in the park. Where they get that from? They get that from the 1700s, man. You couldn't play no music if you was walking around back then in the park on a Sunday. You couldn't play no music. This is their history, man. This is their history of oppression on God's chosen people. Give me some more.
Or at any other time, at any place from their master's service within this city. If any of them was riding a horse and rode it swiftly, hastily, precipitately, or disorderly, and otherwise than softly ordered, patiently, without passing swiftly, trotting fast, or galloping, he would have been found guilty of breaking a city law.
You hear that? That means if you drove your car fast, if you made a quick turn in the corner, if you did anything like that, what did they do? They pulled you over.
That's right.
Back then, they gave you 40 lashes, you dirty, stinking white people.
That's right.
40 lashes for riding a horse. If you meaning when a white person was there and you was on the horse, when you got up near that white person, you had to slow all the way down. And you had to trot real carefully as you walked past that white person. If you didn't, they give you 40 goddamn lashes, man. And they do the same thing. Cops pull you over in the car all the time. Black people and Latino people have been terrorized by police forces in these cars. You've been terrorized by them, man, in these cars. That's where it come from, the 1737 law. Evil as they could possibly be, man. This ain't nothing new. This oppression been going on for hundreds of years. Just like Captain Zaryak, when he was up here, just said. He said, maybe we need to try something new. Maybe we need to stop believing somehow we're going to fix things by doing the same thing over again. We're going to fix things, man, by finally realizing that this empire has been abusing us for hundreds of years, and they will never stop. Why would they stop? They're getting rich off of you. Their kids are going to Ivy Leagues off of you. They're buying mansions off of you. They're taking over whole countries off of you. They doing all that, man. Why would they stop? The only way they're going to stop is when you stop allowing them to do it. How do you stop them? You turn back to God and start to serve your people. You served them for 400 years. Now go serve that poor nigga in the gutter. Go serve that cat in the homeless shelter. Go serve that sister who can't pay her rent. Go serve them now. Go care about them now. Go put them first now. Because you put them last for all your life, man. Give me some more.
He would have been guilty of breaking a city law for punishing slaves who shall ride disorderly through the streets.
Is that not the law today? Why'd you pull me over, sir? Your tail light out. Why you pull me over, sir? You went through a stop sign. Why you pull me over, sir? You driving reckless. Why you pull me over, sir? I saw you reaching for something. 1731. They was doing it to us back then.
That's right.
And they still doing it to us right here in New York City. And this the North. We ain't talking about down south.
Right.
We talking about New York City.
That's right.
In the North. Come on up.
And if at the old slip on Broadway Market.
On what? What? Wait a minute. Where we at, Q? Where we at? Broadway.
That's right.
Broadway.
That's right.
Check out what he said about the Broadway market. Right here. The same ground you standing on. Go ahead.
And if at the old slip on Broadway Market they had tried to buy or sell fruit, they would have broken a law.
Listen to me. Listen to me, black people. Did you know in 1731 there was a law that you could not sell fruits and vegetables on Broadway as a black person? You wonder why they got all the real estate? Because you couldn't have it, because it was laws against you, man. You've been being robbed, man, for 400 years. They've been robbing you, man, and eating you alive for 400 years. That's why you need the truth, black man. The minute you wake up to the truth, you're gonna get your whole soul gonna get free. Like, I don't never feel oppressed no more. I wake up every day, I don't feel oppressed. If I feel a little bit down, you know what I just say? I just say the white man is the devil, the Bible speaks of. Oh, it do so much for me. It do so. And if I have, listen, if I have it during my morning coffee, I'll probably be calling for a speech. I'll be like, where the cans at? Where the cans at? You understand? Because the truth, the Lord said this, I didn't say it, God said it. God said, know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You want to get free from that oppressed feeling you feel every day, from the pain and struggle you're dealing with, go find the truth. You want to stop getting high to survive every day? You getting high because you can't get through a day because of the oppression that you under. I got a solution for you. Wake up to this truth. Wake up to this truth. You're going to get off drugs. You ain't going to need 12 steps. You ain't going to need 12 steps. You're going to take 12 scriptures and change your whole life. You're going to learn this knowledge and walk away from it all. And you're going to become a brand new man or woman. What do you think being born again is all about? It ain't about that bullshit you learn in church. Excuse my French. It ain't about that crap you learn in church. Being born again, man, is waking up to the knowledge of Jesus Christ and the kingdom that we get. And it don't include white people. White people ain't going in the kingdom of heaven. I'm sorry. I know some of y'all don't want to hear that. But Whitey ain't going. He got his kingdom right here. And he made the best he could with it because he robbed you blind. Give me some more, Q. Give me one more, Q. Let me tell you something, man. This is good. You African?
Yeah.
From where?
Nigeria.
From Nigeria.
Yeah.
And are you on your knees because you recognize what the Nigerians did to black people?
Sure.
What did they do to black people?
We sold you guys as slaves.
Good. Hey, give him a hand. Give him a hand. For those of you that didn't hear what he said, this Nigerian is on his knees because he said, we sold you black people as slaves. This is what he's saying right now. He's recognizing that slavery was part and parcel because and that's what I mean, you Negroes want to be African. Africa. Here's a real African. Here's a real life Nigerian right before your eyes. And he said, we sold you in slavery. I'm on my knees to make penance for it. I'm on my knees to apologize. I assume you apologize. He's on his knees to apologize. Black people, you should see this, man. Don't be afraid. Ain't nobody gonna harm you. Come on up here and see this Nigeria. See it for yourself. See it and learn. Learn that you are not an African, that you are God's chosen people, that the Africans sold into slavery in America, man. And this man is admitting it right now today, man. Hey, man, thank you very much for telling us the truth. You brought the truth out before us today. I know y'all wanted to get the whole boot kiss, but y'all ain't taking up my time. I know there. I see the whole time. I see the whole camp sliding for that boot kiss. I'm gonna get in first. Y'all ain't getting me with that. I'm gonna read. Who delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt only did it because his mother refused to have him aborted. His mother refused to have him killed. Black women in America, my Latino women, our Latino women used to have 10 babies at a time. Damn near in 1 litter. They turn them out every year. Bop, 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 bop. They ain't need no medicine or nothing. Have your babies, man. Bring our people back. Damn what this white man said. We'll find ways to feed ourselves, even if he doesn't. Come on, Q. Got one more and then I'm out.
Indeed, owners desired to employ black women as nurses also contributed to their preference for barren slaves and their general discouragement of black children.
Why is your life more important than ours? Why are you encouraging us to go to Planned Parenthood and murder our babies in an abortion clinic? Damn you white people for doing that to us, man. Damn you for doing that to us, man. Those are God's chosen people. You don't got no right to tell us to not have our babies, man. While you starve us in these cities, while you make yourself rich in America, while you starve us, while you give billions of dollars of our money, our tax dollars, you go and give it to Ukraine to save some white people in Eastern Europe somewhere. That's a white people problem, goddammit. That ain't got nothing to do with us. Go ahead, Op.
Nurtured white children did not mean that the women were necessarily beloved or even especially valued.
They hated the women that took care of their babies. They said they wasn't even loved back then. They took care of them white babies, and them white owners hated them black girls. They hated them. I'm going to let it go there, Q, all right? I'm going to read, it's ridiculous. I'm gonna read one more scripture, y'all. Go ahead, Doc. Tell me where you at.
Isaiah chapter 51, verse 20. Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets.
You see that black man, Latino man? You fainted, man. You fainted in these streets. You meaning this, it don't mean you legitimately fainted, but it means you're a broken man. You're a broken man in this city. Look at your brothers. Get on the train. Look at them. Everybody's like this here. Or they mean face. Or they strung out. You're broken in this city. And you got to return back to the Lord. Hey, somebody give out some flyers, man, to these brothers and sisters, man. Give them out. Give them to everybody that ain't get one yet. You broken in this city, man. And you need to wake up and come back from the darkness that this city has brought you into, black man. The scriptures say you like a wild bull in a net. Come on, Katazak.
As a wild bull in a net, they are full of the fury of the Lord.